Okay, so have you ever had that, like, you get a spark, you want to learn something new, maybe, you've always wanted to, like, order croissants and perfect French in Paris, or finally understand those, like, really cool French films, or even just, like, add a skill to your repertoire.
Yeah.
But then you're like, oh, right, language classes. Those are expensive, right?
Right.
So what if I told you that here in Ontario, there are tons of amazing resources for learning French that don't cost a single penny?
Yeah, that's a great point.
So today on this deep dive, we are going to be your guide to free and accessible French learning right here at home.
That's exactly right. And we've looked at all sorts of different avenues. We've got those audio lessons that you can listen to on the go. We've got visual guides if that's more your style. And we've also taken a look at what's offered through our public library system, which is often a really overlooked resource. And we even looked at some of the principles of self-study just to give you the most comprehensive overview we could of how to learn French without breaking the bank.
So that's fantastic. So where should someone turn first if they're eager to start learning French today?
Well, I think, in this day and age, our phones and computers are really valuable tools for learning a language.
Right.
And one really great way to immerse yourself in a language is through audio learning with podcasts.
Ah, yes.
And one that's really effective and really popular is on Spotify, and it's called Coffee Break French.
Oh, yes, Coffee Break French. I've heard of that one. And I think what's really appealing about that podcast is that it just sounds so approachable. It's like you can squeeze in a lesson without feeling overwhelmed.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the biggest strengths of the Coffee Break French podcast is that they design all of their lessons to fit into these little short bursts, like a coffee break.
Right. Like the name suggests.
Yeah, exactly. And it starts with, the absolute basics in season 1, and then it progresses across several seasons to, more advanced levels. And what's interesting is how systematically they build your understanding. So the first few episodes cover things like greetings and how are you and saying where you are, from talking about where you live and even introducing your family.
Wow.
So it really takes a very step-by-step approach to build this really solid foundation. And that kind of bite-sized learning is actually really effective for memory retention.
Oh, that makes total sense. So you're telling me I can just, press play on this podcast and start absorbing French.
Yeah, basically. I mean, the main content of the podcast, so the audio lessons themselves are completely free.
Okay.
They do offer some bonus materials like video versions and lesson notes.
Yeah, right.
And that's through their Coffee Break Academy, which is a premium paid offering.
Okay.
But the free audio lessons themselves really have a substantial amount of valuable content to get you going.
Fantastic. And I think they also have a really great online community as well.
They do. They have a strong presence on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. And these can be really useful for reinforcing what you're learning in the audio lessons, and also just picking up some cultural snippets and connecting with other learners.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this extra layer of practice and engagement.
It's a great way to stay motivated, for sure. Are there any other free podcast options that you would recommend?
Yeah, another great one that's also free and available on Spotify is the Duolingo French podcast.
Okay.
And this one takes a slightly different approach. It uses engaging audio stories to help you learn French. So it's very immersive. You're picking up in the vocabulary, and you're really getting a feel for how the language is used in real-life contexts.
So podcasts are great for on-the-go learning. What about for those people who like to see what they're learning? The visual learners out there.
Yeah, well, for those people, YouTube is a fantastic resource.
Okay.
There are tons and tons of free French lessons on YouTube.
Right. One
channel that I think is very well regarded is called Learn French with Alexa.
Yeah, I think I've seen her videos recommended before, Learn French with Alexa. Yeah, I think she has a very clear and encouraging teaching style.
She does. And I think, if you take a look at her free French lesson 1, you'll really get a good sense of her approach.
Okay.
She concludes her lessons with a nice au revoir, à bientôt, salut.
Wow.
Which is a great takeaway. And the great thing about YouTube is that you've got this combination of audio and visual elements.
Right.
So you can see how the words are pronounced.
Yeah.
You can read along with any on-screen text. And she sometimes even includes, gestures and different visual aids that are really helpful.
Yeah, visual cues can definitely be a game changer for some learners, that's for sure. Now, let's talk about those government-supported resources that we mentioned.
Yeah.
Our public libraries here in Ontario, they seem to offer a lot more than just books these days.
They do. And I think, for those of us in Ontario, or even if you're not in Ontario, but you have access to a public library, the online learning sections of public libraries are a real untapped gold mine. And one great example of this is the Brampton Public Library.
Okay.
Their website has a dedicated online learning area that is absolutely packed with digital resources. And I think it really highlights how our public libraries are evolving to meet the learning needs of their community.
So are we talking like actual language learning platforms that are available for free with a library card?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So one of the most valuable things that they offer to their library cardholders at no cost is Mango Languages.
Mango Languages.
So Mango Languages is a self-paced language learning platform
Okay.
that offers courses in over 70 world languages, including French.
Wow.
And they also have English as a second language courses.
That's fantastic.
And the convenience factor is huge.
Okay.
You can access this 24/7, whether you're at home or in the library itself.
Okay.
And it offers structured lessons that focus on building practical conversational skills. So it really breaks down that cost barrier when it comes to accessing comprehensive language learning programs.
Wow, a full language learning platform for free just by having a library card in Ontario. That's amazing. What other learning opportunities does the Brampton Library offer?
Well, they also provide access to LinkedIn Learning.
Okay.
Now, you might normally associate LinkedIn Learning with professional development, but they actually have a surprisingly extensive library of instructional videos that cover all sorts of topics, including language learning.
Okay.
And they offer courses in 7 different languages, all taught by experts. And what's also great about it is that it can provide personalized course recommendations based on your learning history and your interests.
Wow.
So it can really help you to tailor your learning journey.
That's incredible. It really shows how much our libraries are investing in providing these learning opportunities for us residents in Ontario.
They really are becoming these incredible hubs for a wide range of skill development.
Yeah.
Well, one other thing that the Brampton Library lists in their online learning section is Gale courses.
Gale courses.
Okay, now these are 6-week-long instructor-led courses that cover a variety of topics. Now, we would have to check their current catalog to see if they have specific French language courses listed under their education category.
Right.
But it's another potential avenue
Right.
for this more structured, guided learning that's offered for free through your local library.
So between podcasts for on-the-go learning and visual lessons on YouTube and all these fantastic resources offered by public libraries right here in Ontario, like Mango Languages and LinkedIn Learning, it sounds like there is a wealth of free options available. It's really accessible for anyone who wants to learn French in Ontario.
Yeah, it really is. And I think, we've highlighted some fantastic no-cost resources here, many of which are directly supported by government initiatives through our public library system.
Right.
So it just shows a real commitment to providing learning opportunities for everyone.
So for our listener out there who's been wanting to learn French but maybe thought it was too expensive or inaccessible, what would you say is the key takeaway here, and where should they start?
I think the biggest takeaway is that high-quality French language learning is probably much more accessible than you think, and the first step you should take is to go to your local library's website.
Okay.
If you're in Brampton, you can go to the Brampton Public Library's website
Okay.
and take a look at their online learning section. Check out those platforms like Mango Languages and LinkedIn Learning. See what resonates with you and just start exploring.
So who knew that unlocking the French language could be so accessible right at your fingertips and through the support of our local Ontario Public Library?
Yeah.
What other skills or passions might have equally accessible pathways just waiting to be discovered within our community resources? It really makes you think.
It really does.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into free French learning resources.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, au revoir.
Au revoir.